And welcome back to Roy and Carolina's All Talk Show. Joining me again this week, as always, is the lovely Miss Carolina Amy. How are you doing today, Carolina?
I am actually very good.
That's great to hear.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you for asking. This week we have a very special topic. Due to the fact that it was relatively recent that Halloween passed, we're going to be delving into the different intersections and the reasons for why the TV show Ghost Adventures with Zach Baggins is so popular to American society.
Vegans.
Sorry, Bagans. See, Carolina is somewhat of an expert when it comes to Ghost Adventures. She's been watching for many, many years and even has the different books that Zach has written.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that true?
Yes, I like Zach. He's funny.
So, this show just is working on its 19th season, which is just mind-boggling for me because it's something that has to really grip the attention of the American people in order to keep it going for so long. And there's really many things that are the reasons why the ghost shows or different shows about paranormal activity or even the supernatural are so popular nowadays. So, while most people might think that ghost hunting and paranormal investigators is a new thing, it actually dates way back, all the way to the 18th century, and it's having to do with different paranormal researches.
Mm-hmm.
The Society for Psychical Research investigates all these spiritual matters, and there's tons of evidence that they had. For instance, there was even a psychic researcher named Harry Price who wrote a book in 1936 called Confessions of a Ghost. Now, throughout all this time, the scientific community really stopped to accept them into the scientific community. They said that it was a pseudoscience, largely due to the fact that all of the things that they did lacked replicable empirical evidence. See, the claims that they made simply couldn't be true unless the rest of the entire sciences wasn't. Now, it got a lot more ground in the early 2000s when different television shows like Ghost Adventures started popping up. And it was a lot more intriguing due to the fact that there were tons and tons of different advancements that made it so that people could experience these things and actually get empirical evidence that showed crazy things. Now, as someone who's been a fan of ghost hunting, I'm sure you know quite a bit about this technology for the ghost hunting equipment. Care to share some of your favorites?
I like the Kinect SLS camera. You can see a full 3D body, like mapped out, that you can't see with the naked eye. It detects that, and it's pretty interesting to see that. And then I like the spirit box that it's like white noise, and it's very loud and unpleasant, but it captures voices that you couldn't hear with just your ears. And then I like I don't know what this one is called, but it is a device that it has a little screen, and basically it will pick up certain words that are being used, and it comes up on the screen. So I find that really interesting because a lot of the times you see in investigations where they're talking about a specific thing, and then whatever topic they're on, the words that are, put on the screen tend to be um, part of that conversation. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I definitely get that. The SLX camera was really interesting because I've seen it on the show, and
Yeah.
it's really strange just to see these anomalies because
Yeah.
the connecting points is all just like very humanoid shaped, so it's very unsettling, especially if you don't believe.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of looks like a little stick figure.
Yeah,
And like if
absolutely.
like a green screen almost like the little dots that they use to like make animated
Yeah,
characters.
yeah.
It's just really it's cute.
It's
They
like there's
dance.
something there though. So
Well, yeah,
that,
it picks up that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, another thing that they tend to use is infrared. And so basically, what that does is it takes the different types of temperatures that are in the video, and it also shows you where there are cold spots or hot spots, and that could uh, potentially determine where something is or is not inside of the house. So I
Yeah,
thought that
it's
was really
it's
cool.
interesting because anything that is living, some of those what are they cameras? They have like heat spots, but some of them show just like white. So when you capture something that is not alive, it doesn't have either of those colors.
So those different technology things are definitely another reason why Ghost Adventures is so popular because we live in the world of technology. So it really stands to show that with a little bit of technology, you can really see anything. So the supernatural and the paranormal, it's very interesting to most people because it's the unknown. And to a lot of people, it's very unsettling. And people just sometimes want to be able to understand that. And some other people say, well, if I can't see it, then it doesn't exist.
Mhm.
So there's like a lot of faith that has to be driven behind there. But as we know, faith is such a huge thing when it comes to being important for a lot of people's lives. How has the faith of uh, paranormal things helped you to enjoy this show?
Well, I grew up uh, in a household that really believes in the paranormal. My family is very, guess you could say, psychic. Just very into the feel of things and very heavily believe that there are things that we can't really explain, that we can't really see, different dimensional creatures or humans. I don't know. Like, just we can't really explain that. So I grew up personally seeing a lot of spirits and things that I can't necessarily explain. And it just, I guess, being involved in it just made me a believer automatically. And I've always found it super, super interesting to learn about it. I just personally find the unknown to be very intriguing and interesting. So when I first found Ghost Adventures, can't remember how long ago, it's been years. Um, I just felt it's just really interesting to see, I guess, other people believe in that and want to share their experiences with the world and like being a part of that journey in each episode and like it's just really cool like what they capture on camera and yeah, it's like a really nice connection that I feel with the crew and it's really fun. I always get excited, so yeah.
That's good to hear. Where you see something very interesting, there are tons of people who see just horror, and
Uh-huh.
that's another really popular thing nowadays.
Hmm.
Because you look at television, you look at movies, boom, you got Supernatural rounding out its last season at what, like 15 now? You got however many paranormal activities there have been, and it's just really crazy to see because it's everywhere. uh, Supernatural things are just so important to the society that we live in. They all share that commonality that there are just so many things that cannot be explained by scientists.
Hmm.
And I think that's more than likely the reason why they are so popular. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I think that horror is a big genre and it intrigues a lot of people. Whether you like to be scared or not, I feel like some people just enjoy that like spookiness, that sense of fear. So I think definitely it's very popular with horror, and I think it's just so it tends to be really popular because it's something that you can't explain. It's kind of like, well, if I feel a certain way, but like I can't blame it on somebody, or I can't explain what made, I don't know, that book fall off the shelf. It gets people interested or really really scared. Either way, I think it captures the eye.
Well, thank you so much, Carolina. That's all the time that we've got for this week. Thanks for joining me, and
Thank you for having
of course.
me.
And next time we'll be talking about some other really interesting stuff. Stay tuned.
Bye.